Alright, welcome to lesson 4 of programming with Java. Sorry, I just hit my mic. This one we will be going over decision making, equality and relational operations, like less than, greater than or equal to, and stuff like that, from math. So, we're going to open a new, um, new uh, project, I guess, here. We're going to name this one comparison. And you should know how to do this by now. Just create a new class. We're going to name it comparison as well. And we'll have it create the public stat. I'm going to not create it this time just to show you what happens. So, nothing too big. Again, oops, I keep doing that. Put your information there. We're going to need the scanner class again, so if we bring this down, we're going to need to import java.util.scanner. Make sure to put your semicolon there, and then if we go in here, we're going to do public static void main string args, just to show you that you can type that. Oh, and I messed up. You're not supposed to put that there. Just go like this, and there you go. And so what we're going to start with is, like last time, scanner input equals new scanner system dot in. Oh, there we go. We're going to come down a little ways, and we're going to do int num1 again, and int num2. And you don't need a sum because we're not multiplying, adding, anything of that nature. So after you have your integers set, we're going to type system.out.print, and we're going to do what we did before. If you really want, you could use the addition if you don't feel like typing all of this, but it is good practice. So integer, put our parentheses again, and then down here we're going to do the input equals, I believe. Nope, I lied. I got that wrong. Number 1 equals input dot next int parentheses, nothing in them, semicolon, system dot out dot print, enter second integer, and num2 equals input dot next int parentheses, semicolon. And then we're going to write what is known as an if statement. Later we'll get into the if and else, but for right now we're going to just do int, or not int, if. So write if parentheses, and we're going to write num1 equals num2, and we're going to go like this, and then we're going to go outside of the parentheses, hit enter, and you see it tabs in for you there. We're going to write system.out.print f. Here's where that comes in again. And in quotations, excuse me, not parentheses, we're going to write %d is equal. That means the actual equals, like from math. I guess I can talk about this now. Here, when we have one single equal sign, that is basically saying number 2 is. It's declared, it needs to be type of a thing is this. But when you do two equal symbols next to each other, that means like when you would say x equals 4 or 2 equals 2, something in that sense. Hope that makes sense. Percent d again, and then put that in quotations. Then we come over to where we need to put our arguments, and we just write num1, comma, num2, and then we go out and we hit our semicolon again, and then we come down, and if num1 equals num2, and again, oh, I don't believe that's not supposed to be equals, I'm sorry. It's supposed to be exclamation point equals, which means does not equal. And this is supposed to have two equal signs up there too. Missed that one. There we go. So if number 1 exclamation point equals number 2, which means does not equal, then oops, did that wrong again. There we go. Then we can write system.out.printf, and then we do the %d, and then we do the does not equal %d, and I didn't put it in quotations. 1 second. There we go. Oops, what's going on here? There we go. And then we do num1 and num2 again. Semicolon. Oh, it helps if you spell num correctly. There we go. Num. Not backwards. There we go. And then we come down and we do if num1 is, and we'll just do greater than less than, excuse me, num2, system.out.printf %d, nope, there we go, %d is greater or less than, sorry, %d. Then we can go num1 and num2. And I'm not going to do any more just because it'll take too much time, but if you get the pattern, you'll come down here and you'll do if num1 is greater than num2, and then repeat, and then you'll do if num1 is less than or equal to num2, which you just do this for less than or equal to and such, except you don't have that. That's less than or equal to, and greater than and equal to is like that. But for now we'll just leave it like this. I'm going to run it. Enter first integer, so if I do 2 and 2, hit enter, you see it says 2 equals 2. If we run it again, and I say 2 and 5, it says 2 does not equal 5, and 2 is less than 5. I'm not sure why it... oh, I know why. I forgot to enter these. You should put the new line character afterwards. Here, I'll show you why. So if I do 2 and 5 again, it'll split it up, and it'll say 2 does not equal 5, and 2 is less than 5. So you can eventually get into some more complex things of this. I'll probably, let me take a quick look and see what I have for you guys next. But I'll get into using strings. Yep, next chapter here. So it's going to be chapter 2, I guess, next, but it's just going to be lesson whatever it is. And we'll get into using strings with the if statement and all sorts of things like that. And eventually you can create some pretty interesting little games you play when you're bored. Now, for these games, as you see, they're running down here in what is known as the console. They're games designed that they have to be compiled, and then they'd be run from like the command prompt or the terminal or what's it in Linux again? The shell. It's like a command line game. Um, and it will, if you want to learn graphical user interface, that comes in a long while. Like I'm looking at my book right now, and this stuff is on page 58 currently, and graphical user interface stuff, like the big stuff about it, doesn't come until page 1000 something. So it's quite a ways. Hopefully I'm able to keep the series going that long if I can learn that far. But we'll definitely get the basics down. I think there's a part up here that does a little bit with just very minimal graphical user interfaces. So I hope you learned more here. Leave some comments on stuff you messed around with these so far. Got any hints or tips that I even should know about? But yep, gotta go. Have a nice day.